It's Joe. Welcome to Joe Talks Football today. As you might expect on what happened last night, we've been building for the last couple of days. Neymar signed for Barcelona from Barcelona, PSG, for £198 million. And so we're going to talk about that. And we are here today, very special guest, with a historian, Philip Christopherson. Where can they find you?
They can find me in your description. They can ask me historical questions, but I think history really has been written this morning with Neymar's signing for PSG, obviously twice as much as Paul Pogba last summer. Really is, quite the marquee signing.
Yeah, the biggest transfer ever in terms of monetary value, possibly in terms of dominoes as well. As a lot of transfers may now happen because Barcelona have been freed up with this 198 million.
No, but we're looking at a £450 million package,
total including wage service deal.
And that's absolutely ludicrous for a player who undoubtedly, or if he develops as he has, it will become the best player in the world.
Post-tax salary is £515,000 a week, which for all football fans is going to mean nothing but questions of, but nurses should earn more for the next couple of days. So look forward to that. Neymar's salary is such an extent that if he dropped a £2 coin in the street, there would be no use in him picking it up. Because in France they use euros, not pound coins. So why would he use pounds? But what do you make of the contract that Neymar signed?
Of the contract, obviously, for what I'm going to say now, we will develop into the best player in the world. I think he's proven that, especially towards the latter stage of this season, the way he carried Barcelona. It wasn't Messi who carried them against PSG. They were down 4-0. He scored 2, got that assist. He really embodied what a world-class footballer can do. So I think that someone of his quality, you can't necessarily put a price on it or how much he's worth. He's just worth the most in the world, I'd say.
Yeah, I think in terms of Neymar, when PSG got into that negotiation room with Neymar's dad in terms of contract, they're in a great position because you've already dropped 198 million on a player.
Exactly.
So what's 50 more grand onto his contract or whatever? So Neymar can walk in there pretty much demand whatever they want. They're going to pay it.
I think it's going to be interesting with FFP and how this works because obviously
La Liga yesterday lunchtime tried to block the move in terms of FFP.
Yeah, so what happened then? So PSG tried to bid through La Liga. La Liga vetoed it. So what PSG did quite cunningly is Neymar's lawyers themselves went to the Barcelona HQ, dropped off a wad of cash, probably quite a few suitcases, and then basically terminated the contract with Barcelona before PSG then signed him in theory from the which is very interesting. Transfers aren't done like that usually, but it just shows how Neymar clearly wanted to go, and I think that was embodied by the trouncing of PSG. The word, Joe, you have something to say about that?
Obviously when Messi got injured last season, Neymar became a lot better, and I think Neymar on the PSG match last season realised that he had to get out of Messi's shadow. Because Neymar turned that game around, he scored the free kick and he scored 2 goals in that game. Messi only scored like a tap in or a penalty goal in the game. And then the classic photo from the game is Messi in front of the Barcelona fans on the advertising boards. So Neymar thinking then that he's clearly not number one, and he's never going to be that. With Messi around, he's still got a couple, maybe 4 good years left. And by the time Neymar will be 29, he won't be.
But I think you've also got to look at Barcelona are currently in the decline. So obviously with Messi, Suarez, Neymar, probably the greatest front three we've ever seen. They won a Champions League and a treble, haven't won the Liga since.
Yeah, S&M, as I like to call them, MFM, because it's just what they do to other teams, really. Is they're probably the best front three that's been assembled. But in the, I think it's 3 years they've been a deal. They've had that strike force. Real Madrid have won 2 Champions League. So
exactly, and looking at it that way, I think Barcelona's squad is aging. What we saw with Barcelona,
they never replaced Xavi and Iniesta.
Exactly, we saw the club's dynamic had changed when they let Xavi go. Now, I think that was a huge mistake by the club, not letting him live it out like Carlos Puyol. But Puyol left just as they were still in their prime, were peaking. But if you look at the squad, it's all aging. You get people like Gomez coming in, who is not the quality Barcelona had a few years ago.
The problem happened when they signed last summer Andre Gomez, Digne from City, and these kind of players, because their manager was always going to leave, and so he couldn't make any signs that were going to rock the boat in terms of if a new manager comes in, we can't use this guy. So Valverde has come in, and Barca have still got those symptoms because they signed Nelson Semedo and Gerard Deulofeu this summer. Gerard Deulofeu having been poor at AC Milan and not quite living up to what we thought he would do at Everton in the years he's been there.
Well, obviously, he used to be a Barcelona player, so
Yeah,
to see how he fits back in.
That bias that Barcelona and Spanish club seems to have towards their own kind of players in terms of Gerard Deulofeu going back there.
What we've always seen at Barcelona, especially in the big games, they've always been relying on this Messi, Suarez, Neymar front three, especially for the last 4 years. And they haven't really played as a team beneath it. It changed like, occasionally they'll play someone else in the front three, let someone rest. But it's been such a fixed way of playing Suarez down the middle, Messi on the right, Neymar on the left. With Neymar having gone, it's going to be interesting because, now they could play something like a 4-2-3-1, Messi moving into the 10, Suarez up top. So it sort of gives them a lot more freedom to sign a lot of more interesting players. They've got a new manager, and I think replacing Neymar, as Iniesta said, 200 million would be more than 200 million won't be as advantageous to Barcelona as Neymar. I'm a big fan of Neymar. I think he really is going to be one of the best players. Losing him to Barcelona for that size is a massive shock. Lineker said, there's only one way to go after Barcelona, and that's down.
Lineker found out himself, and he was banned at Barcelona.
But personally, I think in terms of Neymar, I think this is actually a very intelligent move because it's jumping off the ship before it sinks.
It's completely sinks. Yeah, they've only got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League.
Yeah. Against Juve, a defence which even Messi, Suarez, Neymar couldn't break down.
Only Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid could break them down in the Champions League knockout stages. Yeah. We all know about Kylian Mbappe. This £200 million they've now got will no doubt create a transfer merry-go-round. Jurgen Klopp has gone on record loads of times and said, we're not selling Coutinho for any money. Can you see Coutinho going to Barcelona?
I honestly don't think Coutinho is the right replacement for Neymar.
Do you think Coutinho is good enough for Barcelona?
No. I think he is. I think he's the way he's developed the Liverpool. He's certainly proved that in the Premier League, him, a player of his stature, can do it. And if someone like him can pull it off in the Prem, I think he'll do just fine in La Liga because the Prem is a lot more physical. He isn't the most muscular of people, but he's been phenomenal. The way he dictates the players, the way he bangs in free kicks, the way he can just make something happen for Liverpool. But if he goes to Barcelona, because at Liverpool he's very much the focal man at the moment. Because Firmino's good, but he's no Coutinho.
There's an argument there that Sadio Mane is actually Liverpool's key man, as we've seen when he went off the Nation.
Exactly, it all collapsed because but I think that's Liverpool's play. But we're just keeping on track with replacements for Neymar. I think Coutinho is obviously a name which is thrown around a lot.
Coutinho's been thrown around even before Neymar actually down. They couldn't get Verratti because PSG were very stubborn on that. I'm actually surprised Verratti wasn't involved in the Neymar deal in terms of FFP regulations to get that deal through.
I think something will happen because obviously PSG can't have a loss greater than 30 million quid over 3 years.
You spend 198 million, you got to sell someone.
So what's other replacements? So Di Maria has been linked with Barcelona. See, that was going to happen.
But if the deal has gone through and Di Maria is not a Barcelona player, he's not crossed that Real Barca divide with that one.
No, I don't think Di Maria will. I think he would actually, like Hazard's another name from. I think Hazard would be the most.
We've seen Hazard, we've seen Paulo Dybala, Ousmane Dembele, and Kylian Mbappe linked with Barcelona.
So if we go through those one by one, first of all, Hazard is the closest fit to Neymar.
I think Hazard right now is the best of those players. Hazard, the Chelsea has been unbelievable, but I can't see Chelsea getting rid of him. Premier League clubs, as we all know, don't need money.
Yeah,
there's not an amount of money where Chelsea should be thinking.
I think Hazard will look at the situation. Now, he's going to give it a thought because when Barcelona come knocking, you don't come out. He's going to probably look at it and think, what's there for my career? And I don't think, because Real Madrid have been linked with Hazard as well. And I reckon in the long run, that would be a better move for him.
I think there's certainly a case to be made that a player like Hazard wants to be the main man. He's certainly not going to be the main man on the side with Suarez and Messi. Probably won't be that with Ronaldo and Bale.
Well, we'll discuss that. So Hazard would be the closest fit to Neymar, but it's interesting to see what will happen because obviously with Neymar going in, gives the Barca manager, whose name I'm not going to try to pronounce,
Ernesto Valverde.
Never go wrong for me. They give some more freedom how he wants to play because he might choose to change the formation according to which team they're playing. Because Barcelona, they have been doing this sort of 4-1-2-3 for such a long time now. People have been able to read like Juve just sat right back.
It's easy to predict because they've got no other way of doing things.
Yeah, but I think with the fresh manager, the fresh faces coming in, Neymar going, there's going to be a lot, if they buy Coutinho, say, they might have to try and invest in the left wing as well, might go for sort of a 4-2-3-1.
The way I break it down in terms of the 200 million they've done for Barcelona, obviously, they have extra money to spend on top of 200 million because they get half the money in the entire BBVA TV deal, really.
Yeah.
Them and Real Madrid split it, and Champions League and stuff as well. So what I'd be thinking is spend half of it on either a Coutinho, Verratti, Dele Alli player, and send the rest of it on the left midfield replacement for Neymar.
Yeah.
Obviously, the list we read out, Dybala, Hazard, and
Di Maria would be up there.
Di Maria, Mbappe, kind of people, Usman as well. Out of those players, who is your preference?
I'd go, if I was Barcelona, I'd probably go Di Maria. The man, he's proven he can do it in Liga BBVA. Obviously, he's going to be up. I think Mbappe, he's a fantastic player to see, but he's 18 years old. He might be a one-season wonder, we don't know.
I think, certainly with Mbappe, it's an investment for the future. Messi's aging, Suarez is aging.
If I was Mbappe, I'd be looking at what happened to Renato Sanchez. Fantastic player, did that big move, not even to Real Madrid or Barcelona, went to Bayern Munich, where you'd think maybe in the Bundesliga he's going to get some game time.
Or Clutter in that Bayern midfield.
But I'm a huge fan of younger players, sort of going out like Inacho's just done.
Yeah.
Gone to Leicester, get some more time, get time under his belt, develop more as a player, and then he's going to make his move back.
I think all players, certainly in terms of a club like Chelsea, need to be warned. Someone like Mbappe. I would recommend Mbappe stays another season at Monaco.
Yeah, so would I.
Because of everyone they've lost, he's now undisputed key man.
Yeah, and I think it'd be really good for his development as well. And they are going to do well.
They're still in the Champions League. So
exactly.
There's no reason to hurry a move.
I think it's this whole name. I think it's going to kick off a lot of transfers.
I think a preference for Barcelona, certainly in terms of Messi, and who Messi would want, is Paulo Dybala.
Agreed. The
Argentinian link to their friends. He's obviously been excellent at Juventus. He's shown what he can do for a couple of years now. Palermo before that.
I think Dybala would be a fantastic.
I think Dybala, despite being a more central man, I think that could also help them in terms of utility. If Suarez is injured, kind of thing they can play Munir, kind of people tackle after fair in absence. But with Suarez or any of them, because Dybala can fit in any role. I think he can play 10, he can play up front, play either side.
But I mean, if we're speaking about transfers, so obviously not Christian Bale.
In the time we've got left,
Gareth Bale.
The Welsh sheep shagger.
So Manchester United, obviously that started off now again. Now that's based on the premise that Real Madrid might sign Mbappe or might sign someone
a make-way deal.
But we know how great Ed Woodward is at getting transfers spent.
Great deal.
Mourinho is reckoned he can get him for less than £90 million. Now, honestly,
that's a push for a man with a 5-year contract who signed £85 million.
It is, but I reckon Bale wants to come back to the Prem. I mean, I don't know what goes in his head, but he's. The Real Madrid fans, they turn on him the moment he doesn't have a good game. I don't think the atmosphere is really nice, and he's a fantastic player. Walk into any team.
I think Bale. I think there's an argument that he may be through with La Liga in terms of he's done it. He's won it.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting.
I think he wants to stay and be part of the whole Ronaldo movement in Real Madrid.
Well, I reckon I was surprised actually that Ronaldo is still at Real Madrid for now. I thought if PSG, I presume they tried going for him before Neymar. But
especially when it broke
the way Ronaldo's been playing moments, he's been resting quite a bit towards the end of the season with BBVA, and then he's sort of becoming a sort of left striker. Exactly. Which I mean, what do you expect from someone his age?
Well, the legs are obviously going.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still proven in Champions League finals.
He's a huge, especially with that man, great athlete who can play that. Yeah, I think Gareth Bale. I'm not sure Mbappe is a like-for-like replacement in that way because they would need maybe two wingers of Ronaldo.
Well, I'm not sure because
central. I think Benzema doesn't want to do it. Maybe they play Isco in a different way.
What they did is they had Benzema as this sort of more holding back player. He was never the star, so that the wingers could flourish, Ronaldo and Bale, and that actually worked really well for them. So maybe if Benzema moved over to right, if they get another player who isn't necessarily the star man, they'll be able to play Mbappe and Ronaldo, but that all remains to be seen. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. This has been a delightful collaboration. Thank you. Over here on Joe Talks Football. We'll see you whenever I decide to next do one. This has been Joe. This has been Joe Talks Football. I will see you next time.